Good morning, everyone. My name is Samar Limits. Thank you for tuning in to the Limb Drop / Mike King Show. Today I got Mr. Today I got Hunter with me from Sportables. Would you like to give him?
Now, Samar, listen, I'm not. I appreciate you bringing me in here. I hope you know what you got yourself into.
Mhm.
I have a tendency not to shut up.
Hey,
Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Hey, listen, my name is Hunter Lehman, and I'm with Sportable,
Mhm.
which is an adaptive sports club here in Richmond, Virginia. So, like adaptive sports. So we serve wheelchair users, people with amputations, and those that have visual impairments.
Yeah.
So, and we've been doing this work since 2005. So, long time.
Yeah, and I'm in Sportables myself. I'm in robotics program. It's called rowing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right now I'm just trying to get like my arms and stuff stronger. And like, so what's your favorite type of sport program is that?
Oh man, my favorite type of program.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'm partial to the kids,
Mhm.
right? Because I think about. So listen, I'll give you. You don't. I told you I'm long-winded.
Yeah,
You all
go
right with
you
this?
go ahead.
Okay. So I
Mhm.
played sports growing up, and I went to this small college, Harvard of the South, Randolph-Macon College. It's in Ashland, Virginia. You ever heard of
I
it?
know that's
Okay,
right.
good. I went there. I only went there for one reason, because I could play college baseball. It was the
Mhm.
only place where I could play baseball. It was important to me. And so sports was always important in my life. And then eventually I ended up coming back to sports,
Mhm.
and I really enjoyed it. And it wasn't so much the competition, although I'm competitive,
Yep.
but it's the experiences in the locker room. It's the experiences with your teammates. It's that connection. It's about part of being something where you're trying to achieve something that's bigger than yourself,
Yep.
right? If everybody's pulling in the same direction,
Yeah, I
right?
understand. That's how
Right.
it be like when I used to play football and we used to be in that locker room.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
right before the game, we all going crazy. It's no feeling that can beat that.
Nothing, right? Because
Yeah.
these are all your brothers, and you've been fighting, and you guys have been training, and you've
Yep.
got. Now, look, you're a lot tougher than I am. I ain't playing football. They wear those helmets. They're trying to go after folks. I don't do the football, but I'm going to tell you that I did enjoy being in sports.
Uh-huh.
And here's the thing: for kids to have that opportunity, especially in that really formative stage of, say, between 6 and 12,
Mhm.
where they can learn, because we talk a lot about values, and we talk about a lot what you can learn about through being a teammate.
Yep.
A lot of times you don't see that on television because the sport has changed. It's about money, or it's about, for elite athletes, sometimes it can be a little bit different. But for kids to be able to get those values and to be able to be part of a team
Yeah,
and to
it
experience
changed their
failure,
life.
it changes your life.
Mhm.
And so, you asked me what my favorite sport is.
Mhm.
Anything where I can see the kids participate.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: most of the kids that we serve don't have the ability to play sports with anyone else.
Yeah.
So, our youngest athlete is 3 years old. Is we put them in a pool, and a
Mhm.
lot of times I'm going to tell you, don't tell their mothers, but it's more like organized chaos than it is
Yeah, I
swimming.
understand.
But the fact that we can provide those opportunities, that's where the magic is. That's why I enjoy what I do.
Yeah. What gives you the passion to just go out and just help people?
Oh, I don't know any different, right? Sports are great, and you like providing those opportunities.
Mhm.
Our mission, there's a mission statement we have, but really there's the core component of our mission is about creating opportunities and transforming lives.
Mhm.
And like the transforming lives part is everybody has their own story.
Mhm.
And don't think we're going to leave here today without you telling everybody your story, because I
Okay.
want to hear more about how you got to Sportable and
Mhm.
what the impact it's had on you, and talk about sports in your life, right?
Yeah.
But that transformation part is central to everyone's personal story around sports,
Mhm.
right? But what we do is create that opportunity, and I think that opportunity is really important.
Yeah.
So listen, my son, he's crazy. He's 12 years old. He plays basketball, and he's not very good, but he thinks he is. All right.
Yeah, that's how I was.
Boy, he doesn't. He thinks he's good. He has no idea. But he plays basketball and he plays soccer, and to see the joy that he gets from him, but also to see him have to overcome challenging situations, for him to have to work harder in order to achieve
Yeah.
more, in order for him to get along with teammates where he may not see eye to eye on. He gets a lot out of that
Yeah.
that's beyond the scoreboard. And so my passion comes from making sure that kids and other individuals experience that. This morning, so listen, I work hard to have this majestic temple of a body I
Yes,
have,
sir.
right?
I see.
You see it,
I
right?
see.
You see it. So I get this body from working out and Shoney's. I get it from a little bit of both, right? But so this morning I went to the Y and I did my spin class, and I'm cycling. And the reason I go to the Y, I could buy one of those bikes that's too expensive and keep it in your house.
Yeah.
But I go to the Y because of the community, the
Mhm.
people that are there, right?
Yeah.
And so you know, we talk about Richmond being a sports town a lot. And for a lot of years, some of the folks in this room, a little bit older, might realize that, you know, for a long time, we were always a participation sports town. We were so-so in terms of spectator sports. Our facilities were okay. But then that narrative started to change a little bit as the Squirrels have come in and doing their thing. And then hopefully they're going to get another stadium. It's going to be downtown soon. VCU basketball is doing their thing on Broad. But the sports is a really key component to this town.
Yeah.
And not only competitive sports, but also, you know, we've got a river system where over 1 million people go every year. Right. I think in order for us to truly embrace being a sports town and a sports community, it's imperative for that opportunity to be available for everyone. That to me, that's what drives it at the end of the day. You know,
that's good.
Like, it's how important was sports to your life?
Sports in my life, I've been playing sports all my life. I've been good and I've been bad at it. But,
Sure.
Sports has carried me a long way.
Mhm.
You know, sports did
Sure.
did some good things for me. Like Sportable helped me. It gives me good therapy. Like,
Yeah.
now I'm in this rowing program, and before I was in the rowing program, I was in the swimming program.
Yep.
And you know, they helped me a lot. Sportable definitely brought me a long way, and they worked me. They worked me hard, and now I'm trying to get in this cycling and maybe soccer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I listen, in those competitive juices, you talk about being in that locker room and
Mhm.
you guys are all on the same page and you come out there with a passion and an energy and a fury.
Yeah.
You get that with soccer because it's a team sport, it's competitive, and not that rowing's not competitive, right? Because rowing's hard
Yeah, yeah, I know.
and swimming's hard, but
Mhm.
that team sport where you're relying on other people, it's kind of awesome, right?
Yeah.
How long after your injury did it take you to find us?
Probably like maybe a year.
About a year.
About a year.
Okay. So I'm an old man. Don't tell anybody, right?
You
But
good? You good?
I still read the paper every day.
Mm-hmm.
I read about your injury in the paper.
Yes.
Okay. And I sent that news article to everybody in our office
Mm-hmm.
because I know right away that there is someone that hopefully we can impact down the line, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, where did you end up going? And I should know this, and I don't. Did you go to Shepherd?
Yeah, I went to Shepherd.
You went to
Yep,
Shepherd,
I
right?
went to Shepherd straight out of VCU.
Okay. And we have, I would say, 10 to 15 athletes that did their rehabilitation work at Shepherd. And right before the pandemic, I went down to Shepherd. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Oh,
love
man.
Shepherd. Shepherd got a beautiful gym,
Yep.
a huge swimming pool, nice campus. I mean, it's definitely enough for sportables. And when I was down there, I was doing archery down there.
Yep.
And I was doing like this thing with this BB gun.
Uh-huh.
They are mounted on this thing, and I just gotta pull the lever back and it'll shoot on its own.
Yeah.
I love that. And I miss every time, but I still was doing it.
That's right. That's all right. Hey, listen, man, practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah.
Well, so listen, I will aspirationally, we'd like to have a facility and like to have a home one day like Shepherd has, right?
Yeah.
And we've got great partners here, Sheltering Arms Institute and the hospital there, but there's a system of all these recreational and occupational therapists that help us do what we do. But you ended up finding us a year later. You went back and did your rehabilitation. Sometimes we ended up sometimes we'll find athletes that come to us years later. Some athletes will roll into our office a week after their accident.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of it depends on their physical condition and mentally sometimes where they are, because that's it's a serious setback, right?
Yeah, because when my mom first told me about Sportable, I was like, I don't really know how I feel about doing this and that, because I want to be able to play sports the way I want to play it. And she was like, maybe you gotta ease your way into it first. So I was like, yeah, I'll give Sportables a try. Now I love it. Yeah, it's fun. It's like extra therapy to me.
We talk about our ACE internally, right?
Mhm.
And ACE stands for Access, Community, and Excellence, right?
Mhm.
So we provide access where there's no access before.
Yeah.
And then I skip over community for a second. I'll come
Mhm.
back to it. But then we get to excellence, right? And so we like to have excellence in all of our programs. Now, excellence might mean that you're competing for a national championship. We
Okay.
had a youth basketball team a couple years ago. They won a national championship and it was awesome, right?
Mhm.
But excellence is defined by programs and defined by where coaches and athletes want to see themselves excel,
Mhm.
right? So we have 17 programs. Each one of them has their own definition of what excellence is.
Okay.
But we want to make sure that we're providing the safest and best opportunity, right? The community piece, though, in my mind, is the most important. So your life, you went through drastic changes after your injury,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So now all of a sudden you're part of a community of people that have had some of the same experiences,
Mhm.
that have had some of the same hurdles, that have had some of the same trials and tribulations that you've had.
Yes, sir.
And you realize that there is light on the other
Yeah,
side,
yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
And in my mind, man, like
Mhm.
that's to be part of a community like that, I think is really
Yeah, you
life
definitely
changing.
a big help, because we need a lot of people like you for people like me.
Yeah. Well, but I that's the most fulfilling thing. Because listen, we're sitting in here, we're in the ESPN radio studios. When you look around, there's sports everywhere.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I'm not a big fan of sports right now. If I look on the television and I see two teams out of Los Angeles that are joining some conference,
Yeah.
that now all of a sudden is going across the country, and I see all these guys getting like huge contracts, and maybe the effort's not there. Like there can be some things that you may not necessarily like about sports. When you get down to it, though, I think what we do at Sportable, listen, man, I have the best job in the city. It's a blessing to be able to do what we do, because at its heart, sports is tremendous. It's moving and it's life-changing.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we provide. And you are a really good example of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know? So listen, you found athletics through us. What athletically do you want to do through Sportable in the next 3, 5, 10 years?
I wasn't gonna say it, but I was kind of thinking about rugby. I definitely want to try rugby, and I want to try basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
Have you seen that rugby?
So I don't want to see it until I start.
It's intense, right?
Yeah.
But there's a good amount of physicality there, and you can get that testosterone, you can get that energy.
Yes, sir. It'll make me feel like I'm playing football again. But I just got to ease my way back up there.
Excuse me. And I think what you'll find is you get involved with rugby and it helps your strength profile, and then that helps you become independent for later in life.
Yeah.
And it actually helps your quality of life a lot.
Yeah.
So our athletes are no different, right? Our athletes are no different. So we would love to have you do that. You let me know. I'll meet you at rugby. I'll get in a chair. I'll show you how it is. That's the only time I get physical, right?
Yeah. And this is Lemon Drop Station. You can find me at s.lemons_ on Instagram, or Small Lemons on Facebook. You want to tell people how they can find you?
Oh gosh, I'm not very good with social media. Sportable. We are all on Facebook. I think it's /RVA. We got, man, listen, my team, we do a good job. We got Facebook where you can find us. We have a great Instagram account. We're not TikToking yet. We should probably start TikToking. We haven't done that yet.
I can't get into TikTok myself.
Yeah, me neither. But we do my team does a really good job. You know, from a social media standpoint, I think the most compelling content are stories, and the stories of our athletes are, some of the best content there is, right?
And like how would somebody like apply for a position that you have to just help other people, like be a coach, or like, are you a coach?
I used to coach. That's actually how I got involved with the organization. I used to coach the Power wheelchair soccer team.
Okay.
And I got blackmailed into it.
Really?
Oh yeah. I went out there. One of the board members needed a coach, and I said I'd find a coach. I couldn't find a coach. So I showed up to coach, and I wasn't happy about it. It was Friday nights. It was 8 to 10. My wife and I had just gotten married, no kids yet.
Okay.
So my Friday nights were important to me. Yeah. And I show up and I didn't want to be there. I fell in love with it. And I'll tell you, outside of meeting my wife, that experience was the best experience ever happened to me. And so I kind of started out as coaching and then moved on, and now I work there and now primarily try to raise the resources to make our work happen. But I will tell you almost without exception that our best programs have the best coaches. And what we always say is that we want you to have a passion for the sport, and we can teach you the disability, right? And so we do. If you go to our website, sportable.org, you'll see the 17 programs we have. We always need volunteers and people that are fluent in the sport and kind of the language of the particulars of the sport to come out and help us execute it. And then we can teach them how to work with the population that we serve. And then a lot of times they just get really involved with it. We've got basketball coaches that travel all over the country for tournaments. We have a rugby coach that travels all over the country with the team for tournaments.
How big do those tournaments get?
So I tell you what, the National Wheelchair Basketball Tournament is 100 teams, about 1,200 players, about 7,000 people over a span of 5 days. Jeez. So Louisville, Kentucky used to host that tournament. I went a couple years ago, and it was literally transformational for me to see it. And honestly, one day we'd like to be able to bring that here to Richmond, because we have this aspiration of being the disability capital of the world. Now that sounds right. You think disability capital.
Richmond do need a team. That sounds
right,
good.
But it is not just about sports, right? But it's about being able to access all the amenities in our community. It's about having employment rates for people with disability profiles that are higher than national averages. It's about the quality of life. It's about public transportation being accessible for everyone, right? So we aspire to be that. And I think having an event like that in this community would be eye-opening for all the residents and the corporations.
Yeah,
that are serving
that's
the
definitely something we need in Richmond, Virginia.
It'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because we already don't have an NFL team or nothing like that. So we need some type of entertainment.
Yes. Well, they're going to build that arena up there in Henrico County.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should work on that. You should talk to someone about getting an NBA team here or something.
Yeah, might name it after me or something.
Hey, listen, you got enough money, they'll name it after you. You
Yeah.
can buy it, franchise it, do the whole thing.
The Richmond Lemons.
It's some Mars.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like
Yeah.
finding smarts. I like that.
And what can I see? How has Sportables changed your life?
Oh, it's probably made me a lot more grateful for the opportunities and kind of for just everything that I have. I realized that life can change on a dime, right? Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden you have a plan in life, and look, and your story,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah, mine changed the heartbeat.
Change the heartbeat.
Mhm.
Like your life profile and your life path took a drastic turn in a very short amount of time, right? Now here's the crazy thing, and this is the thing that actually blows me away. I talk to so many people that have had life-changing incidents, whether they're accidents, whether they're strokes, whether they're cardiac events, whatever they might be.
Yep.
And I'll talk to them years later and they'll say, that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I told my dad that the other day because if I wouldn't have got hurt, I probably wouldn't be on this Mike King show now.
Right. No. Well, and so like there's this old
There's ups and downs.
And I can sit here and give you every cliche
Yeah.
in the book. And I got lots of them. My wife says I have too many of them, right? But I'll tell you that attitude and
Mhm.
having a positive attitude is absolutely the greatest attribute that you can have as a person.
Yes, sir.
And if you have it and you're willing to make the best out of any situation, it's
Mhm.
amazing what you can accomplish. And so, Mike said something before. I don't know if I don't know when we were together if that'll be part of the show or whatever, but we talk about our athletes being an inspiration.
Mhm.
And that's true, right? A majority of the time, our athletes don't want to be an inspiration.
Yeah.
They're out there to kick your butt. They're out there to PR. They're out there to compete just like they used to do before they had those
Yeah.
injuries. But the fact that they're an inspiration is awesome. And it also, in all honesty, allows you to realize how lucky you have it.
Yeah.
And so I will say that's changed me and it's made me more grateful for the things I have. And it's also probably put me more in tune to people that maybe need assistance to be able to enjoy a fulfilling life.
Yeah, yes, sir. Because I always thought about I wanted to start playing some type of rugby or something to get me in tune, just so I can have a feel of how everything is. Like I want to start playing basketball just so I can get the feel how everything is, get in the environment, But I'm nervous myself because I know I ain't ready for that.
But here's the thing, right? What is the hardest step is always the first one.
Mhm.
Or in your case, right? The hardest roll is always the first push.
Yes, sir.
I think you got to be willing to put yourself out there. And look, that's the hardest thing to do.
Mhm.
That's probably the hardest thing to do pre-accident, post-accident. That's
Yeah.
one of the hardest things to do in life is to get outside your comfort zone.
Mm.
But if you do it and you're willing to take that risk, the reward is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So I don't know when I'm going to leave here today, but I'm not leaving here until I have a date in the calendar on a Monday when you're going to come out and see rugby practice.
Okay.
And you don't have to participate, but you need to see it.
Yeah.
You need to see it, and you need to see how these, like you talk about unpolitically correct.
Mhm.
These guys are talking crap to each other,
Yeah.
and the trash talking is amazing. And the amount of camaraderie is also amazing, and it feels like a family.
Yeah.
And these guys, guys and gals, we're lucky. We've got a couple of females to play on our team that really makes us unique.
Like what type of workouts do y'all do?
Oh man! So in the off season, this is during COVID too. Parney and our friends at the Squirrels would allow us to go over to their parking lot.
Okay.
So our guys would get in their rugby chairs, and we would take chains, and then we would put 45-pound weights on the back of them, and they had to do sprints.
Jesus
Now
Christ.
look, right? Yeah, it's
Oh, man.
hard. But listen, if I see, and I'm no doctor.
Mhm.
Please don't. I may have stayed at the Holiday Inn, but I'm no
Mhm.
doctor, right? So to see the strength profiles of our athletes just from their shoulders
Mhm.
and their arms of what they've done. Now, all of a sudden, we have athletes that are able to transfer from and I'm talking about quadriplegics, folks that are using power chairs, but they're able to do transfers on their own
Okay.
that have a stronger sense of independence because of this work.
Mhm.
So like the workouts we do are grueling. There's a really good, there's a young man, I forget his name. There's one of the best youth wheelchair basketball teams is out of Houston, Texas. And there's Tier, and Tier is a rehabilitation hospital that's there, and it's a really nice hospital. It's in downtown Houston, and they've got a parking deck that's like 6 floors, right? Do you know what they do for training? That team starts on the first floor and they race up the parking deck in their chairs, and I'm going up the hills. So like that's the one thing, right? I'm sure you've gotten a lot of sympathy. I'm sure people come up to you and they they want to know what they can do for you. They ain't no sympathy in rugby.
Nah.
Hey, get your butt out of the chair, get in here, and let's get to work.
I don't see some people get flipped out their chairs in rugby. But I'm like, whoa.
Listen, I think having the expectation of excellence is really, it's awesome, because you can demand great things of yourself, and other people can demand that of you. And I think a lot of times when you have a disability profile, people won't expect that. And I think sports is one of the vehicles that can help people to expect it. And that's again, gets back to that community. So again, you're coming on a Monday, you're going to make whatever arrangements you got to make. I want you to see it. And then we're going to try to get you in the chair so you can start playing.
And what other activities do y'all have? Like,
oh man, you would have asked. I can't name them all, but we're gonna try it.
Do y'all have one of my favorites I always been thinking about? It's like racing.
Yes, we have racing.
Racing.
We do. We don't have track and field, but we do training programs around the 10K and the marathons.
Okay. We
have archery. We have boccia. We have rowing. We have kayaking. We have wheelchair lacrosse. We have tennis. We have basketball, both youth and adult. We have swimming. What am I forgetting? We have power soccer, which is awesome. That was
you said that was your favorite one to coach.
Well, that was my starter drug, man. That's what got me in, right? That's what got me involved, and that always has a special place in my heart, right? Just because of that. We have ventured in. We have a CP soccer program now, which is for kids that are ambulatory, and that's a youth soccer program. And that has been just awesome.
What's the environment like out there? Like, I know it's probably thousands of people that come out to support.
We do, right? So we're really lucky. I think the great thing about sports is everyone was either an athlete at some point in time, or they fancy themselves an athlete now. We're lucky in that our mission and our work is very forward facing. So the community, I think, rallies around and really supports our work. So we've been lucky. We've had some big tournaments where we've had really big turnouts. We do an adaptive sports festival every year. And so just to, if I may plug it, April 15th, we're doing that at the Glen Allen High School with our partners in Henrico County. But last year we did that event and over 700 people came out.
Wow.
And we had all of our coaches there. And for us, it's a chance to bring together all of our communities. So all of our different community partners that serve the population that we serve, they come together in one place. But then we also put on essentially all of our sports so people can see it. So folks that can come out and see what it's about and figure out if it's something they want to do or not. Similar to your experience at Shepherd, where they get you to go in. One of our values is ingenuity. We'll figure out a way to make it happen.
And this is the Lemon Drop channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can find me at Samar Lemons at Facebook or s.lemons on Instagram.
All right, Samar, I haven't hurt the value of this show yet, have I? Everything good?
Yeah,
okay, good. I just want to make sure. You let me know if you're going to kick me out of here.
No, you good. You good.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
And I'll see you guys later.